Look at this satellite image. 10,000 acres of New Mexico desert, a cluster of buildings that look like any wealthy person's ranch retreat. But zoom in. Look at the layout, the roads, the placement of every building. This isn't a ranch. This is something else entirely. I want to show you what I mean. Because what happened here at Zorro Ranch involves one of the most disturbing criminal cases in modern American history. And the architecture tells a story that nobody has fully explained. The buildings themselves are evidence, the courtyard, the runway. The scattered outposts are miles from the main house. None of it makes sense for a working ranch. All of it makes sense for something else. Let me walk you through it. Zorro Ranch sits near Stanley, New Mexico. Stanley is barely a town. It's a scattering of ranches, dirt roads, and emptiness. The nearest city of any size is hours away. Jeffrey Epstein bought this land in 1993 from Bruce King, a three-term governor of New Mexico, paid $12 million for it. At the time, nobody asked why a financier from New York would want 10,000 acres of high desert scrubland. The property spans 15 square miles. You could fit all of downtown Chicago inside it and still have room left over. Anyone approaching by car can be seen from miles away. The western edge drops into steep canyons that act like natural walls. If you wanted to build a place where nobody could see what you were doing, you would build it exactly here. Now look at the main house, 33,000 square feet, arranged in a hacienda style, 4 long wings surrounding a central courtyard. This is where it gets interesting. In traditional Southwest architecture, the courtyard is open. You see patios, verandas, views of the landscape. The whole point is to connect inside and outside. Zorro Ranch does the opposite. The courtyard is completely sealed, boxed in on all 4 sides. No exterior windows face inward. No outside door opens directly into it. The only way to reach this space is through interior rooms. From the air, from the ground, from any public vantage point. You cannot see what happens in that courtyard. This is an architectural choice, a very deliberate one. The design echoes old monasteries and Spanish fort houses, structures built specifically to hide inner life from the outside world. Each wing of the mansion serves a different purpose. The north wing is long, plain, uniform, rows of identical rooms. It looks like a dormitory or a hotel or something else where you house multiple people in separate, standardized spaces. The west wing backs directly into rising terrain. Canyon walls act like a natural barrier. You can't observe this wing from any direction except directly above. The east wing faces a bizarre feature I'll get to in a minute. The south wing is the operational center. Main entrance, staff areas, the driveway that connects to the single access road. Every wing isolated from the others. Every wing serving a specific function. Beyond the mansion, several guest houses sit far from the main residence, sometimes more than a mile away. Most ranches cluster their buildings together for convenience. Zorro Ranch does the opposite, turning each building into its own isolated island. There's also a firehouse, administrative offices, workshops, and a standalone log cabin. Near the mansion lies that cleared square of earth I mentioned, perfectly geometric, stripped of vegetation, covered in circular tire tracks. Its purpose remains unknown. It sits away from the main driveway, next to the utilitarian east wing. The property also has a private airstrip, long enough for mid-sized jets, located in the southeastern corner of the property. For a location this remote, a private runway makes practical sense. It removes the need to land at public airports or interact with commercial travel infrastructure. Wealthy landowners in isolated areas often have them. A direct road connects the airstrip to the mansion. Both were clearly designed as part of the same system. While Epstein visited, day-to-day operations were handled by Bryce and Karen Gordon, a couple from New Zealand who managed the property for years. Locals recalled parties at the ranch. After Epstein's case resurfaced, the Gordons left New Mexico and refused interviews, saying they feared for their safety. Several accusers tied their experiences directly to Zorro Ranch. Annie Farmer alleged she was abused here in 1996 by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Virginia Giuffre stated in legal depositions that she experienced abuse at the ranch. State officials called the allegations disturbing and handed over more than 400 pages of property records to investigators. Despite this, the ranch was never raided by the FBI, a decision that drew widespread criticism. While Epstein's properties in New York, Palm Beach, and the Virgin Islands received extensive investigation, New Mexico remained largely untouched. After Epstein's death in 2019, the ranch remained locked down. In 2023, it was quietly sold to a company called San Rafael Ranch LLC. The new owners' names have never been made public. The property was renamed Rancho de San Rafael, as if attempting to erase its history. But in 2025, New Mexico lawmakers pushed for renewed inquiry. Their statement was simple: there is still a story to be told. When you examine Zorro Ranch as a whole, something becomes clear. The roads across the property aren't random. Nearly everyone bends back toward the mansion. On most ranches, roads branch out to water sources, barns, grazing areas. Here, they funnel inward. Movement was meant to be predictable. The geography served as natural security. The sheer acreage was the first barrier. A person could walk for hours without reaching a boundary. The western canyons made that side nearly impossible to approach without being seen. Other edges were fenced, but only to define controlled access points. The design wasn't agricultural, it was organizational. Access monitored, movement predictable, activity separated by vast stretches of isolation. The land itself functioned as architecture. Zorro Ranch sits quiet now, under a new name and unknown owners. But names change easier than land. The plateau remains. The canyons remain. The sealed courtyard, the scattered buildings, the airstrip pointing toward empty plains. All of it remains. The desert keeps its secrets. But architecture doesn't lie. And the architecture of Zorro Ranch tells the story of a place built not for comfort, not for ranching, not for openness. It was built for control, for isolation, and for the certainty that whatever happened here would stay hidden. The questions remain unanswered. What happened in those rooms? Who visited this place during those years? What took place in that sealed courtyard, surrounded by 4 walls and 10,000 acres of silence? New Mexico lawmakers believe there's more to uncover. Maybe they're right.